make sure you have all the components in place and a nice, clean, and big enough place to work with. Put the motherboard in place. Drive in all the required screws on the motherboard screw mounting points. To prevent damage to the motherboard, it must only contact the standoffs and screws. All the standoffs and screws must be installed. Installing the CPU. CPU is the heart of a computer, so make sure you handle it properly and do not drop it or mishandle it. Do not touch the pins. There is a golden mark on the CPU to help you assist. Consult both your motherboard and CPU manual to see which position it fits exactly. Lift the CPU lever on the motherboard. Place the CPU properly on the motherboard and pull down the lever to secure the CPU. Step 3. Installing the heatsink. After installing the processor, we need to install the heatsink. There are different kinds of heatsinks that are bundled with the processor and each has a different way of installation. Place the heatsink on the processor. Secure the heatsink with the lever or screws. After this, you will need to connect the cable of the heatsink fan on the motherboard. Step 4. Installing the RAM. Push down the RAM into the slot. Make sure that both the clips hold the RAM properly. Step 5. Installing the video card and expansion cards. First, you will need to find out whether your video card is AGP or PCI Express. Remove the back plate on the case corresponding to the graphics card. Push the card into the slot. Secure the card with a screw. Plug in the power connection from PSU if required. High-end graphics card need dedicated power supply, usually a 4 to 6 pin plug. Installing the hard disk. Hard disks are fragile and needs to be handled carefully. Place the hard drive into the bay. Secure the drive with screws. Connect the power cable from PSU to hard disk. Connect the PATA or IDE or SATA cable from motherboard into the drive. Installing optical drive. The installation of an optical drive is exactly similar to a hard drive. Place the optical drive into the bay. Drive in the screws. Connect the power cable and the data cable. When installing multiple optical drives, take care of the jumper settings. Make sure you make one as primary and other slave by using the jumper. This is not applicable if the drives are SATA drives. 8. Installing the power supplies. We will now install the power supplies as the components we installed after this will require power cables to be connected to them. Place the PSU into the case bracket. Place the screws in place tightly. Charge ATX power connector to the power supply port on your motherboard. Step 9. Connecting various cables. You will need to consult your motherboard manual for finding the appropriate port for connecting various cables at the right places on the motherboard. Connect the ATX case cables for power, reset button, and the appropriate port of the motherboard. You will also need to connect the front USB and the audio panel cable in the motherboard.